Currently, water for production is critical. Get access to technology without us having to break the bank. So I have switched on.
So it's my pleasure to give you a very quick introduction about the story of ennos. It's a story that begins actually in Switzerland, and this story continues now in Africa. Yeah, next slide, please. Yeah. When we started developing our first solar pump in Switzerland, we had a clear vision. The vision was we should have a world where everybody has access, easy access to water. Water for drinking purposes, for irrigation, household use, etc. Farmers or people in the remote areas, they depend, on a reliable solution. So that was also our key, to develop really reliable, a robust, suitable, and an affordable solar pump. Next slide, please. Since we are now in the market with our pump since 9 years, and actually what we heard also from the Honorable Minister, it is so important to have a good irrigation equipment, that farmers, they can increase their yields, they can have more harvests per year, and in the sense to have a positive impact on from the economic point of view, but also from then the social point of view. And we are so happy, and I think some of my distribution partners are among us. They can then maybe later share this information, that we received the reports from them that farmers, they really benefit. They can increase the yields, they can actually also avoid or save costs for maybe fuel when they were using so far diesel pumps. So for us, it's a great joy, to see the impact, what we can create with our product. You can move to the next slide. And the sustainability is also a key word or a key factor actually for a success. And for us, it's very important that we have a very good and a strong partnership with our different partners, either partners as distributors, but then of course then also partners now, new partners coming in the production, from the production side. This is very important for us. And from the partnership with our the distribution partners, for us it's very important we expect many things from them, that they are very good, they bring high quality services to the end customers, and on the other hand, on the other side, they also can expect high support, as a good support coming from ennos and towards to them, that we bring the training to them, we have spare parts available that they can make repairs if needed, things like this. So this is a very close and good relationship we have, and we need to continue to have. For us, also vocational or capacity building is very important. That's also something, you need to bring the technology closer to the farmers. And so you need to have more technicians in the field, and that's also why we created a course about solar water pumps. And now the special moment is actually to be here with our new partners, Innovex, here represented with Douglas, and then NETZSCH, represented by Eden. It's a special moment now to start this partner, or to move on now with our product. Thank you very much, and I think I hand over now to Andrea Vezzini, founder, president, and CTO of ennos.
Thank you very much, Karin. So we have some technical difficulties on the presentation, but Let's try to go to the technical part now. That's my role. I'm an engineer. I'm a professor at Bern University of Applied Sciences. And actually, this project takes me way back in my development history. And I try to put together a little bit a historical slide. So if you would go further on. It started actually in 1997 when I did a project in India about hybridification of rickshaws. And that was the first time I was realizing how the approach would be different if you would work in emerging markets. And I made great experiences, I made great friendships, and this is one of the key, let's say, factors of the whole 25 years of development I experienced is actually working with people, working together, getting on a journey and actually having a common goal. I started after a suggestion of one of my friends from India that they needed solar-driven water pumps in rather early 2006. As you can see here, a collaboration in India, and we built the first 400 pumps. At that time, it was a purely public-funded project, that the technology was not very well known. And as you can then see, we moved slightly forward. And in 2016, we had a license taker, Chain Irrigation Systems, in India. And this is actually a further step in the development, not only of our company, but also on the way how we can cooperate. And I met great engineers at Chain, which helped me actually to improve the product, and the product which we entered the market in 2016 and which is still produced today and is now over 8,000 times installed all over the world is actually based on this cooperation. And now we enter a new phase. We enter a phase where we're not, bringing a technology, but we're actively cooperating. We're cooperating with local companies like Innovex, where we're exchanging our ideas, where they do their own product development, we do our side on the product development, and we finally create then a product here in Africa. Next slide, please. So our product range, as you can see, starts with a 0.5 HP version. If you go further on, then there is a 2 HP version, and you're an engineer, you try to design a product, and then comes back marketing and sales, and they say, yeah, the small one is too small, the big one is too big, it should be yellow, a little bit darker, a little bit lighter. Basically, you try always to find out what are really the requirements, and I'm quite proud and happy to say that we found now the solution in between, if you want to say so. Everybody wanted to have more power flow, more water flow, so we're ended up now with about 120 liters of water flow, which we could finally see somewhere here on the slides, which is 3 times more what we had actually from the existing smaller pump. We have in the same weight, basically 3 times more power, and we went to a fully connected version, still maintaining a very high pressure, which is important, example for irrigation with sprinklers. Now going to the technical details, we did actually improve almost every part on the pump based on our proven technology, but we did a new controller together with Innovex here. This new controller is more powerful. It accepts a wider range of panels, so you have more flexibility. It's fully connected, which means that data is transmitted and then used later on for analysis. We have a wide range of connectivity. We still have our app, the Bluetooth app, where you can then directly on site see if you have installed the pump correctly. We can, with the controller has some intelligent smart functions, which detects if there is dry running. And the whole thing is made more and more robust against, for example, water ingress from the outside. The next thing is in a cooperation with NETZSCH. Next slide, please. With a cooperation of NETZSCH Pumps and Systems, we were able to develop, or they developed exclusively for us, a new pump head. The new pump head, on the same size as the existing one, has a better efficiency, has a higher water output. It's very low noise. Actually, the older pump, you could hear them from far away. might be a good idea to get away with the birds on the field, but here the new pumps are really having low noise. And we managed actually the same with the controller also here to reduce the number of parts, which is helpful for repairs and for maintaining the replacement parts. So there would be a nice picture somewhere, but it's not coming apparently. Good. So with that, actually, I come to the third innovation with this pump. It's a comparison to the other two models. We have now a fully integrated remote monitoring unit. This remote monitoring unit works together with the backend REMOT, the software from Innovex, which is basically a software for our dealers to control the location of the pump, the operation of the pump. It has a customer relation management tool included so that they can actually do the invoicing, contracting, also the billing and reminding the people of payments. So we can at the same time with this remote monitoring unit guarantee the operation but also have the whole commercial background. And this software now comes included with the pump for 2 years of free. So all our dealers will be able to control their pump in the field, and we'll also be able to see if our pumps are working correctly. One of the, in our future ideas with these pumps is naturally that by collecting the operational data of the pumps, we will be able to calculate how much CO2 we have displaced. By aggregating the number of pumps, we will have then a big enough quantity of CO2 to participate in the voluntary carbon market. That creates additional revenues, that creates a possibility to give our dealers back some of the earnings with the CO2 trading. And that concludes my technical outlook, and I want to give actually the word to our partner NETZSCH, which was responsible for, oh, sorry, yeah, Innovex. I actually forgot the sequence. So Douglas, oh, you got your own mic.
Thank you very much, Andrea. Good afternoon once again. Is my presentation on? Okay. Let me. Sorry for now. No. This is okay. No. It's okay. So this is Innovex. You can move to the next slide. In access to challenges for manufacturers and distributors is in as much as they want to scale the operations and also scale the adoption of solar-powered equipment, it's quite difficult. And this is mostly because the upfront cost of purchasing some of this equipment is quite high for many of the low-income populations or the target markets that some of these solutions are built for. And even beyond affordability, you will find that the operation and maintenance of these systems today most relies on manual processes and outdated servicing. So, of course, what all this leads to is you find there's limited access to a lot of this really good technology, solar power technology, and the other challenge is scaling constraints. As you'll find that manufacturers and distributors struggle to expand in a sustainable manner. So that's why, as Innovex, next slide please, we came up with this platform that we call REMOT. And REMOT is bridging this gap between manufacturers, businesses, financial institutions, and end users. So these end users could be farmers, they could be businesses, and what unites them is they want to have access to solar power technologies. So REMOT is an IoT data intelligence platform And this is used by manufacturers and distributors to remotely monitor performance of their installations while also managing their credit. We have active partnerships with financiers who own lend to end users that are adopting these technologies. Next slide, please. And how remote works is in about 3 ways. So there's different kinds of equipment. You'll find equipment that is IoT enabled. For example, the latest ennos pump is actually IoT enabled, meaning it has sensors. But when you come to Africa, you find that the way other technologies are built to access the internet is usually through Ethernet. And in Africa, how do we access internet? The mobile phone. So what we've done with ennos is we've built a device that is embedded in the pump that enables the pump to easily and very efficiently access our platform, our online platform. There are products which are not IoT enabled. They don't have any sort of sensors. And what we do in that case, like I'll share with our journey with ennos, we actually provide an end-to-end solution, both GPRS solution as well as the sensors. Most of our value is provided through the platform, so that is where you have the dashboards that the businesses use to monitor the performance of the pumps and also operate the pay-as-you-go business models. Next slide, please. Our platform is a B2B platform. We mostly work with businesses, and these could either be distributors or they could be OEMs like ennos. We also work with development organizations, helping them understand the impact of the investments. I'm going to share our story of ennos, how we got to start working with ennos. Next slide, please. And how it has come to this momentous event. Next slide. So initially, we were working with one of ennos's distributors. And I usually call this a hack. We were hacking their pump. We had a device that the distributor was fitting as an external meter on the pump, and they were able to monitor the performance of the pump with our platform. I don't know what interested ennos. When they saw this, they got very excited, and the distributor did an introduction, and that is how we started talking. Ennos wanted to integrate this hacked technology into their pump because they saw this is the future where the technology is going. So the next solution, next slide, was an external dongle. So this is as good as an internet dongle with a SIM card that was initially fitted outside the pump. That was the first solution that we provided ennos. And later, our engineers collaborated with ennos, and we developed the integrated solution that you can see on the left-hand side. Next slide. Then on the platform, you have quite a lot of features that are mostly used by businesses. Next slide. The previous one. Okay, so on the pump, starting with the pump is able to measure a couple of parameters. For ennos, I was counting the other day, there are close to 30 different parameters that we are measuring about the ennos pump. So this includes the location of the pump, the consumption of the pump, how much water it is pumping, the temperature of the pump, and all these are very critical in ensuring that any business that is distributing this pump continues to provide very good and effective after-sale services for their users. More so is the pay-as-you-go. To enable accessibility, the pay-as-you-go has proven to accelerate adoption of solar technologies. Initially, it was mostly in the lighting space, and today it is actually making a huge difference in the solar for productive use, where you have irrigation. So on the platform, if you go to the next slide, please, is where most of the magic happens. So you have features such as pay-as-you-go, You have the dashboards where you can look at historical performance of the pump. And why this is important is in many situations, you find that distributors are losing a lot, one in warranty claims, and sometimes they're losing a lot of reputation because their after sales sometimes are non-existent. They only know a pump has failed when someone calls them and tells them my pump is not working. And sometimes they have to make double trips. Go and find out what the problem is, then make a trip to go and repair. And for those of you who operate in this market, you understand the kind of distances that are involved. You have probably an office in Kampala, the capital city, but most of your customers are probably 600 kilometers out of Kampala. Very expensive to operate. Beyond that, we have also built predictive analytics where we're actually predicting failure of these pumps before it happens. And this is important because it avoids a lot of downtime for the farmers. Next slide. Andrea didn't mention the carbon credits, so this is also enabled by IoT. If you know something about the carbon markets, you must know that one of the biggest challenges that they have now is verification. How do you verify that the credits that are being claimed have actually been created by this person? This is what has taken the carbon markets down, verification. But with IoT, it's self-verified. You automatically measure, pick the data, store it, and no doubt that these credits have actually been generated. And interesting enough, most of the partners that we've talked to are actually able to back pay. So someone that has been running a pump for a certain period of time, say 2 years, is able to receive payment for those credits they've been creating over that period of time. So we really believe that this is going to be the solution to the carbon markets. IoT. Next slide, please. Lastly is the story on the manufacturing. So beyond providing remote as an IoT platform, we have also been selected as the official manufacturers of the latest version of the Sunlight pump. And that is done right here in this facility, as you'll see in the tour. So this, you'll see a team of very young, brilliant ladies. We've ring-fenced the manufacturing for only women. It is a fully led, women-led operation. And already, too bad I'm saying this when the Honorable Ministers left, we've actually received our first order from ennos. Initially, we produced some samples, but we're already busy producing 2,000 pumps, as you will see. This has already created 30 direct jobs for Innovex. And of course, by the end of our 5-year contract with ennos, we project that those jobs will 5x over that period of time. With that, I thank you.
Eden, I give you the word.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Eden McGee, and I'm the Managing Director of NETZSCH Southern Africa, which is part of NETZSCH Pumps Systems. It is a German positive displacement pump company that has been producing positive displacement pumps for more than 70 years. It is part of the NETZSCH Group, which in 2023 celebrated 150 years of existence, and is still owned and managed by the same family. It operates in the machine building and instrumentation space. So a very deep history. Sorry, could you go back 2 slides, please? One more, go forward, please. So NETZSCH has been a market leader for 70 years in producing positive displacement pumps. And in that time, we've grown a global network with 5 factories around the world, 8 assembly plants, and 30 sales offices. So we have a real deep presence around the world and a very deep understanding of the positive displacement pump market. And I think that is why my 2 collaborators here reached out to us at NETZSCH and asked us if we would be willing to participate in this great project. And one of our organizational goals is to create a better world. And that's easy to say, and it's easy to write down, but it's not so easy to measure or do. But when you get an opportunity to do something that so directly affects people that need it most in terms of food security, irrigation, you have to jump at the opportunity, and that's exactly what we did. So we're very grateful and very excited to be part of this process. And I think the other reason why Andrea and Karen reached out to us is they wanted a partner in Africa for Africa. And they saw that we had opened our assembly center in Durban, South Africa. And this was a key driver for them to have something on the continent like Innovex to directly support the market. Could you go to the next slide? This is just the evolution of NETZSCH over time. You will see within the pump division, we have manufacturing and assembly centers all around the world: South America, North America, Germany, India, China, and now the latest in Africa. And we hope to grow from strength to strength alongside also the Sunlight pump. Here you will see in our operation in Africa, we have an assembly center in Durban, which is utilizing the port there to bring in components for the supply of not just our normal industrial pumps, but also for Sunlight pump components where we assemble. We have a Johannesburg sales office, and then we have sales offices in Kenya, in Nairobi, Accra, Ghana, in Lagos, Nigeria, and soon in Zambia as well. And we have plans to grow further. Plus, with that, we have quite a distribution of agents and distributors across the African continent. So each of those markers on that African map is where we are directly operating, where we have pumps, where we have customers, where we have partners. And this is a goal from NETZSCH to grow our influence and support in the African market. So when we got this project, there was an existing pump, but we had to ask ourselves, what do we want to do with this? So one goal for sure was to make a better world. The other goal was to look at new ways of producing this pump. How could we produce it in a more sustainable way? What was new technologies we could maybe use within this pump? We definitely knew that we wanted to have high efficiency, and we wanted to have definitely other sustainable approaches besides just the utilization of renewable energy. And one thing that had to be really understood, I think, and we had to communicate with our design colleagues is, for those of us that live and work here in Africa, we understand that it needs to be serviceable and usable where it operates. As Douglas hinted, sometimes this pump is very far away from even a serviceable road. So it needs to be serviceable and usable in the field, and that was very important for us. So just to give you an idea, the first 4 prototypes, Andrea, were all 3D printed. And this is something that you don't always see in the pump space. The pumps were tested. We tested the concept. We could 3D print them on the go as we needed to make changes. And that's a testament to NETZSCH's innovation and technology and how we want to develop pumps and how quickly we can bring them to the market. What we ended up with was 3 key things that we ticked. Efficiency. With the same size pump, we were able to produce 3 times the flow rate, which was higher than the goal we set out to in the beginning. Also able to deliver a very high efficiency throughout the pressure range. And at the same time, very, very good pressure capabilities. This is still under test and development, We think we will have a much higher rating later on, but we want to do more extensive testing on the pump. From a sustainability perspective, of course, the solar energy is one thing, but the pump head now is more than 90% recyclable as well. Right? The current version has only very, very small amount of metal parts in the pump head. So not only are we ticking the box from renewable energy, we're also sustainable from the materials that we use. In terms of serviceability, we've mentioned it's a lightweight design. It's made from polymers and plastics, as we highlighted. The pump head consists of only 7 parts. And with Ennos's training, you can go online, you can see how to service it, and with obviously the right tools, you can service it very easily wherever you are. The ease of serviceability was a key, and we've gone over this a number of times with our engineering team, and we have achieved a very, very good result with that. We think that someone with very limited experience can very quickly get a handle on this pump. Our team in Durban today is building pumps, and I was speaking to them. They're building a complete pump in less than half an hour. So to do a complete repair, we estimate with some practice and exposure to the pump, you could do it in under 20 minutes, which is really great as well. And finally, we wanted a robust and durable design as well. It's no good to give a solution, but it needs to have a lifetime that fits for people that have a limited amount of resources to spend on this technology. And we have ticked that box, and we are committed to continuing to improve the product as well as time goes by. And that is it from our side. We are very excited by this. We see this product as making a better world, and we think this is just the beginning of this journey. And we're looking forward to seeing the 1.5 horsepower pump make a difference to the most at-risk communities in the world in terms of food security, not just in Africa, but eventually around the globe. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much, Eden. I really appreciate our collaboration has been actually one out of trust and really collaborating both together, also with you, Douglas. And at that moment, we actually should also mention now, next slide, please, that we have one partner more here in Uganda. This is SkyApps. Brian, you're here too. It's like in the children play, there's not enough chairs, but I will make mine free for you. Or Eden, that's it for you. So let's finish this round of presentations of our partners and what we do with Brian from SkyApps.
Thank you so much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Brian Turiaba from SkyApps Technologies, and we are a software development company based here in Uganda and in Kampala. Next slide. Yeah, so basically what we do, we specialize in designing solutions or innovations which are into IoT, mobile, and cloud-based solutions. And you can see that most of the sectors we've had to deal with are into agriculture, energy, and health, some of the work we've done in the previous past. And then if you can slide over the next slide. So our collaboration with Ennos was focusing on being able to digitize some of the operations or some of the work that they do in the field. And that was to come up with a mobile application that could help in controlling or in being able to manage and optimize the operations that happen at the pump level. So in that way, we looked at like 3 main things, which was one, to be able to simplify the access. That is with a simple or an intuitive design of a mobile app that could be used by most people within the field. Secondly, to be able to provide real-time insights, especially to the users, because you want to know like how much power your power is consuming. You might be able to want to know what failures are happening with the pump in one or the other. So it keeps you informed of any issues that might be happening around the pump. And then thirdly, to also provide smart maintenance measures to say that at any point when there's an issue, it's able to alert or it's able to trigger something that can be interpreted by the technical team. And of course, the app works in a way that it works with simple IoT technologies, which is Bluetooth. In this case, we use the Bluetooth Low Energy, or commonly termed as BLE. But as a company, of course, we even do other extended technologies ranging from Bluetooth serial or even Wi-Fi direct to be able to connect with different solutions at different capacities. And what happens is that a user can simply get the phone, they start the app, and they can connect to the app, and they can start monitoring everything that is happening. They can even go on to increase the levels or the pressure of the pump itself. So it sort of makes it easier for anyone to operate or for them to have control within their hands without necessarily having to keep on tapping on the buttons onto the pump itself. And what you can see on the screen, those are some of the screenshots that come with the app, and I think those were the previous versions, whereby a person can simply search, and then it's able to locate the applicable pumps within the area. And then once they connect to it, they're able to access different functionalities ranging from remote control or even maintenance and other functionalities that are provided onto the app. So this is work that we've done for over 2 to 3 years, I think, with the partnership with Ennos. And glad to note that the introduction was made by the team from Innovex to connect us to this team. And also partly we're happy to partner with Ennos in doing this work, in being able to connect and as well communicate with more rural people who are using this technology. So that's simply who we are, and I think in the last slide is part of our contact information. We are happy to keep doing this work and with any other relevant partners within the space. Thank you so much.
And now I think it's time to actually see the pump not only outside in the action, but in the field in the action. We already have some pumps in the field. This is especially a thank you to Jaron from SpringTech, who supported us here. Thank you very much. And the film we're going to see is actually from one of his customers, where he actually used this pump for the first time.
My question is, how do you convince these farmers of the benefits of the technology that can make their life so easier, both in terms of process and cost saving? Is it easy? And because often we hear about the resistance to change, because we are so rooted in our traditional methods that we do not want to see a change. How do you tackle those kind of direct challenges on ground? Thanks.
Thank you very much for that question. We are lucky that we actually have one of Ennos's key partners, distributors, one of the best sellers of solar water pumps in Uganda here today, and that is SpringTech. These are the guys on ground. They're the ones doing the haggling with the farmers. I'm going to give them the audience and the opportunity to answer this question, please.
Thank you so much for your question. As introduced, my name is Javan, a company called SpringTech that we have been partnering with Ennos and Innovex to deliver these pumps to the last mile customer and consumer, and also working around with the farmers, training them on the technology. I realize every farmer has sort of a smartphone now. With $10, $15, you can get a smartphone. I would like to answer the question, maybe if you can rephrase it, that how do we...
I was asking, how do you reach the farmers and be able to convince them so well that they adopt your technology? Because often we know that there's a resistance to change, that we are so rooted in our traditional methods that we won't use the technologies.
Oh, that's a good question. So like the minister said, earlier in the days, rainfall was not an issue. We could predict when the rain would come and at what point the rain would come. So you'll find we'll have a harvest all throughout the year. But now seasons have changed. The varying seasons have brought sort of a prolonged dry spell. So farmers have to irrigate their crops if they are to get a bumper yield. So that's the first push that pushes them to use the technology. But recently, people have been using fossil fuels, pumps that are driven by fuel and most of the farmers are not there, so there's a lot of sort of theft with the fuel. They cannot control the servicing of these engines, so they have moved to solar. But the first solar pumps have not been having this sort of technology. Now farmers are very excited. How we do it is we move with our team to the field. We've had support from some partners. We move with the engineers in the field. We show them what actually the technology does. We install the app on their phone, and they see they are able to monitor even when they are not around. So it's not a question of should I take it, it's a question of how much. Now we go back to the cost. We've had some partners, I saw them here, EAIF, which funds the farmers by up to 60%. So that funding is there for this sort of technology for people to take it up. So the adoption has been incredible over the last 1 year, and we hope to see this change being driven forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I also understand there is another key partner in the room. Maybe you can add to that answer from ACFO.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Victor Kazimiri, and I'm the Chief Executive Officer, ACFO International. I've been selling ennos pumps for quite some time, for some years, and this is a pump that has moved in the market, and the farmers are really happy with it. And you can see we are all here because of this cause for this pump. There are many other brands in the market that are not talked about, but when you speak of the ennos pump, it takes you everywhere, even up to the World Bank, because I have people from the World Bank who are always pushing to support us, but only when we are selling the ennos pump for the projects. So my colleague Javan here answered it well, but obviously, as he put it, that's what we do as the service providers, as the ennos partners in Uganda, and we are always here. When this bit of the technology from Innovex comes in, then it makes work easy. From the desk in Kampala, you are able to tell an issue that is, let's say, at the far end in the western Uganda or in the north or west Nile, where you would put a lot of resources to travel to, like if one calls, if there is a failure and then the pump is not performing, you may find it's just a minor issue that you can guide about even through a phone call. But you wouldn't be able to tell. So the only way of telling would be to just get on the road, drive to Arua, let's say, and then after reaching the site, as you touch A, B, C, D, the parts, different parts, is when you're able to tell the issue. But with the remote monitoring component, then you can be able to tell about the issue from your desk. So you send a technician going while knowing what they are going to work on. So it puts out the issue of first going to troubleshoot to check what the issue is. No, you go knowing what you are going to actually touch. If it's a minor issue, you can even guide the client on site or the farmer's representative about where to touch, and then the system will function. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Hélène Demact from Gaia Impact, and we have been supporting Innovex since 2020, so we're really impressed and so happy to be here today and be a witness of this great partnership. I have a question for NETZSCH, because so you actually manufacture the pump and you bring together all this technology. And I've seen your map all across Africa. So will you bring Innovex's technology all across Africa within all of the pumps?
So currently, all of the ennos sunlight pumps will be fitted with the Innovex technology. At this stage, our relationship with ennos is purely a manufacturer to order. We're not responsible for the distribution. But there's a couple of instances globally where we're looking at it. So I think it's a great product, it's a great idea, it's a great initiative. These problems that this fundamental need are global, really. I think someone told me the addressable market is 500 million of farmers, so it has huge potential. And I expect to see Innovex's product globally, so it's really exciting. As I said, we're very excited about it, and if we can in any way help the project move forward by leveraging, you saw we have an extensive network, we certainly will. We're committed to it. Yep.
Well, to add to this, probably we have to say that ennos has an existing dealership network in Africa, in Asia, also in Southern and Central America. And I think this is more a question for you as a head of marketing.
Yeah, no, I think the question was going to NETZSCH, and I think Eden replied very well to it. But I think that the potential is huge, you know, that with this technology, we are really coming closer to end customers. And in this sense, I really must say thank you very much to Jevon and also to Victor from Akvo, because your answers, you know, because you're coming from the field, you're so close to the farmers and you see how it works. And I think the technology now with IoT, with this remote monitoring, we bring something to relieve the pain, you know, actually to know what's happening at the farmer's site and to support him as best as we can. So it's in a way that this technology is something for dealers to bring relief to them, but of course then it's also for the end customer because they benefit from a better service.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, thank you very much for the presentation. I work for SNB. My name is Ekanath Katiwar. And though we are directly involved in this technology, but maybe some of the product has been used through our RBF initiative, and AGPO International already mentioned about that. So we are getting very good feedback from the technology. But besides that, I really wanted to appreciate Innovex. Innovex is one of the global competitors in the We4AF. Before I joining the SNB, that's one of the first innovator I searched around in Uganda, and I found Douglas and team. And really, they are moving very fast. In We4AF, we are very few, you know, innovator globally in the competition. And there are a few like from Vietnam, Mimosa Tech, and some from India, and we are so excited to see Innovex there. So basically, like, I'm just trying to see the technology, how you are embedding this IoT, you know, the solution. I can see some of the pump and those who are providing solar water pump, they are already embedding the solution with the water map, the water use, like how much plant needed the water. It can also map. And you have already embedded like carbon things and the payment solution, everything. But are you also integrating that, you know, how much the crop needed the water, so that we are not over exploiting water in the future? Like in India, it has been a very big problem. Everybody going for solar water pump, but they are depleting, you know, the water table is depleting. Maybe that might be another issues coming up in the future. If you are thinking from now, then we can also address this issue with the same solution. Yeah, thank you.
I think in this case, it's actually quite important to mention that all the range of ennos pumps is surface water pumps. So we're not taking any groundwater. And I know the problem, especially in Bangladesh and India, is actually really the table is going down and down because you got the ground submersible pumps, which actually takes the water, which is there for tens and even more years. We are using actually, and that's what my irrigation specialists say, the pumps actually on the surface water is a less big problem for deprivation of water. The second thing is what we actually also really push very hard, and why our pump has this high pressure, is that we actually think that if you use this pump as a technology, you should combine it with sprinklers, or even better would be drop irrigation. We would have to look at drip irrigation, yeah, drop by drop or drip irrigation. Actually, we're very well aware of that there are different types of irrigation technologies, and by making the pump work very well with sprinklers, we're able to save basically water for irrigation. You avoid the hardening of the soil, because when you get flood irrigation, it's not good, and there is a better actually yield if you compare it with flood irrigation. So I completely agree with you. We have to be careful with the water. We have to use it efficiently, and that's why we actually try to provide this technology also.
Maybe just quickly to add, you know, when you compare with diesel pumps, usually farmers are using oversized diesel pumps, and then they are really wasting water. So in the solar pump sector, this is not yet the case, gladly. Maybe I'd like to add something also with this IoT technology, you know, that you can use also this technology for irrigation as a service, by the way. You know that when you have like a farmer using a pump, and he's maybe not using the pump the whole day, and that he can actually share the pump with his neighbor. And because with this IoT technology, you can set in also like the volume. You know, you could say you can pump up to like 20,000 liters, for example, per day or in the afternoon at your neighbor. So you can also calculate how much water you're pumping, and you can also use this technology then as irrigation as a service, in the sense becoming an entrepreneur.
Good afternoon. I'm Salim from the Africa Solar Industry Association, and I have two questions for the ennos team. I know that your business model is a B2B business model, where you collaborate directly with the dealer. So I wanted to know, are you willing to partner with any dealer who would like to distribute your product, or you have some criteria that you make sure that the dealer should fit to collaborate with you? And the second question, as long as they said, they are the one who collaborates directly with the end user, how do you make sure that your product really fits the need of the end user? Those are the two questions that I have from you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for this question. We do not have any exclusivity, you know, for in countries. So we have in many countries we have different distribution partnerships. So we're open for it. I think it makes, we always look for, you know, if it's a small country, then we do not go for like 5, 6, 7 distribution partners, but it's not like limited. It's about we always look at the specific case. It's because some partners are more in some regions, and then we are happy to have an additional partner in another region in the same country. And the second question was how to reach the farmer.
No, as long as they are the one who interact directly with the farmer, yeah. How do you make sure that your pump fits the need of the end user?
The thing is, actually, our dealers, you know, the criteria, you know, that you become a dealer is, we looked at the dealer has an experience in solar and pump installation. So he must be in this market. He needs to know the market of solar pumps. He needs to have access to farmers, because we are too far away. We can't give support for this. So this is a need. We need to find out that we have the right partner, that he knows his customers, and that we only can give him then from the technical point, also from the technical aspect, we can say, look, this model fits a farmer for a size of 1 hectare. Next model is up to 3 hectare of irrigation, and the 2 HP up to 10 hectares. So we give this technical aspect to the dealer, that he knows which product fits to which farmer.
If I understood your question also in a way that how do you develop the pump to the market or to the customer needs without being on the front? And the answer to this is, you saw that during this period of development, we had these public-funded projects where we actually installed 400 pumps with customers, and we said, you know, there's basically a customer-driven design period, and a lot of the details which we have in our pump actually come from this period of evaluation. The frame, for example, is the typical one. If you would go and look at our competitors, they don't have a frame normally. But this is something which came back from the field. It's easier to carry around. It protects the pump. And we actually try to collect data like this, you know. Some of our competitors, they have a controller and a pump separated, which makes it necessary to connect the cables. And you carry it around, it gets, broken or so. So that's why we opted for this fully integrated pump. We only want to connect the panel and we want to connect the two hoses, make it easy. We created the word plug and play pump, you know, that's the idea here. And then we did this once in a very large scale, but we basically continue this. We have one of our technicians, Thomas Eberhard, he's visiting from time to time the dealers, and it was just this spring. So we use this basically to get the feedback from the dealers, collect it. We actually look at what are the damages done in the field. We try to do the repair together with the teams of our dealers, and we do also field visits, and then we collect these stories. And if you go to the website of Ennos, you will find a lot of these testimonials like we saw it from here. We try to get the feedback from our customers. It is really important, and if you look on our mission statement, it says clearly that we want to create solar pumps which are suitable and affordable, you know. And we can do really a lot with suitable, and for affordable we have to see with carbon credits and with subsidies and so on. But these are the two most important things. It has to be suitable, it has to be affordable.
Sure. I think another point that you should consider is we're moving into a phase with solar pumps. Now, this is a smart pump. So it is collecting data through its connected technology from Innovex, which is going to speak directly to what you're talking about. You will be able to analyze the data received. How is the end user using it? When is he using it? Is the design correct for the available solar power? How could we optimize it? So I think that that gap is narrowing with the adoption of technology, which is adopted at a much higher rate on our continent because, as Douglas mentioned, people go directly to cellular connection. They take it up so quickly. So I think what's great here is Ennos is going to have a whole lot of digital twins, which is something that everybody else in the pump space is looking for, just by the implementation of this smart technology.
And finally, if you have any suggestions, you know, really I'm open ears. If you tell me what you would like and see, and if we can do it, we try it. If it makes sense, we might incorporate it, you know.
Andrea, sorry, I'm up Descents. There is a question online.
Oh, that's great.
A lady, Jezebel, is asking, why didn't you use remote activation via token instead of SIM cards for the pay-go part? The second part of that question, how do you manage customers who are in areas not covered by the network? Yeah?
That's an excellent question. And
there is a second question. Let me just also put it there because it's similar. Is the pump working with only GSM phones? I think you can take all those together.
Yes. So first of all, also greetings to the online audience, and I want to apologize for the problems we had at the beginning of the live stream. There was a mishap with the links. So I'm happy to see that there are people online and they are asking questions, and they're actually asking excellent questions, you know, and it's something we put a lot of effort in it. Surely you can activate a pump for a pay-as-you-go system over the GSM card and over the Innovex technology. And as long, I mean, it's an excellent technology, but as you know, not everywhere the coverage of the network is as good as it should be. And that's where we actually work together with our app. The token idea is that we can transmit this token over the GSM network, or if you're sitting in Kampala and you have good network coverage, you will receive the token on your cell phone, and then you can move to the pump, which is wherever it is, without network coverage, but the token is actually stored on your smartphone, and then you can activate in the field by Bluetooth communication directly the pump through the smartphone app. And that's actually, for us, it's important. That's why I said this. It's more connectivity. It's connected through GSM. It's connected through Bluetooth, and you can also have some direct manipulation on top of the pump with the keypad, and that's important. But again, I think the choice of token has been really, for us, naturally, it has to be a safe way to create a token, but it's especially a safe way to deliver through the app or through the GSM. And now the second question, you know, the danger is always if you ask a lot of questions, Frank, then you forget the first or second question. What was the second question was?
Is it only GSM in phones? I just need to confirm that question. Is the pump working only for GSM? Is the pump working with only GSM for phones, or particularly there could be a different technology altogether? That's a Douglas question, huh? Yes, Douglas, over to you.
Oh, thank you very much. As Andrea has explained, when you talk about tokens, a token is simply an instruction, in this case to the pump, to either remain on for a certain period of time before it switches off, or to deactivate a pay-go plan. So the pay-go actually still uses tokens. The question is, how do you deliver the token? How do you deliver this token to the pump? So there's two options. Either you deliver it via the internet through GSM, or you deliver it through Bluetooth to the pump. So the Innovex solution is where this token is delivered through GSM to the pump. For us in Uganda who buy electricity through, I think before it was Yaka, now it is Light. I have not yet bought Light, but when you buy Yaka and you get a token, you still have to go and punch it in somewhere. So what we've done with this pump is, imagine the pump is in the farm, it is pumping, you want to pay and it automatically goes on. So what we've done with our technology is, as soon as you make a payment, this token is automatically delivered to the pump via the internet. So that is the GSM. In a situation where there's poor connectivity, that is when, after you pay and you received the token on your phone, you have to go to the pump and then send the token to the pump via the Bluetooth connection or the keypad, as Andrea has explained. So all those options have been thought through and they are available. So the pump literally is 100% reliable. But I should also say our telecom industry is one of the most developed industries worldwide. I must say that. I've been places and you sometimes miss MTN and Airtel in Uganda. I think they make so much money that they've decided to invest a lot in ensuring that they're reliable. So in most situations, actually, because before we had this direct relationship with ennos, we had worked with our distributors and they deployed close to 100 of these pumps with our hacked solution, as I explained. When you visit some of these sites, you can't believe that there is internet in this location. You can't believe it. That is how robust and reliable even our solution is. Thank you.